Welcome to the Dark Diaries podcast. So, today I'm having Logan here. I will just quickly introduce myself. So, this is the first episode. I'm an exchange student from Madrid, and currently I'm on exchange at the Miami University.
My name's Logan. I'm a sophomore here at Miami. I met Rebecca this year, and we've been friends. And she thought I'd join the podcast, so here we go.
Do you know why you are the first candidate that I chose, and how does it feel to be the first one on my podcast?
I'm not sure if I know why. I know I'm a big yapper, so I think I can really help you explore some of these questions out. I feel great though. I love being the first one. I always like being first dibs.
The reason why I decided to choose Logan actually as my first candidate is because the first time I met him, we discussed and we went over several topics, and I could tell that we have a very controversial opinion on some things. And I just thought that it's always good to have some controversy because then it makes it way more interesting. You would compare your life from freshers year to now, what has changed for you, and is there a particular moment that really contributed to your character development?
I think from last year, I was kind of in a hole. Like meeting new people is kind of hard sometimes, but I've really loosened up a little bit. Just finally branching out, stop being like with the same people all the time. Because I know I came with some friends from high school and I still talk to them every day and I love hanging out with them. But once I kind of got away and started doing my own thing a little bit too, and they do their own thing, like it makes everything better. Not too much, particularly.
So I'm actually a fourth year student. When you're fresh out of high school and then you go to like college, you basically meet new people, and maybe some people like even leave the country, and that's exactly what it was for me. I really had like a shitty experience with a guy in Madrid the first year, and I feel like that was like a thing that really contributed to my character development. The people that are going here to the Miami University, first of all, why did you choose this uni? And do you think many people leave their countries to go here, and how is the dating experience here in general?
So I came here. I toured a bunch of different colleges. I was stuck between a couple, but Miami ended up being my number one for just like school. And then earlier in the summer, my going into my freshman year, I got a call from the track coach, and I'm on the track team here, so that also kind of helped draw me in a little bit. But some people from out of the country, I know I had a couple buddies last year. One of them's named Felipe. He went back to Chile now, but he had yeah, that's a Felipe. He's a good kid. I think they like it here. I mean, it's a good experience to get out of the country. I think the dating culture
Yeah, like
definitely different than the Europe. I promise you that.
it's my first time in the United States in general, and the first time I came here, I didn't even know what frat people are or frats in general. It was really interesting. I was just walking with my friend on the first date, that the one that is with me here for exchange, Musashi, by the way, hello. And he was like, "Yeah, that's where the frats live," and I'm like, "What frats? Like, what are those?" You know what I mean? Because you don't really have that like
Yeah.
in Europe, and I just feel like in the United States, the hookup culture is way more developed, and I would like want to ask you, is that really true, or are those just rumors? Do people really hook up, or are more people like in a relationship? So how do you see that?
It's definitely a thing. I feel like I haven't lived in Europe, so I don't know how the hookup culture is there, but I know that for here, there's definitely a bunch of them, especially at Miami.
How was
Person
it
is
personally for you? Are you like a person that likes to hook up, or are you a person that
no way. I'm just trying to settle down, find someone. I think hooking up is kind of nasty. But I mean, if it happens for some people, it happens. That's just the way that they go
yeah,
about things.
people like sometimes blame the circumstance of where they are for hooking up. So they basically say, I'm in the US now, since everyone is hooking up, why shouldn't I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just feel like it really depends on the person. Personally, against like the hookup culture, not because I think there's anything wrong with hooking up with people, but I just think it's a kind of a waste of time,
Yeah.
and it's way better like to focus on yourself and be selective. Do a lot of people here actually hook up in clubs, or do we even have a club here?
I don't know if we have a club. I think there are more bars here than there are
Hmm.
clubs. I'm sure if you went down towards Cincinnati area or maybe a little bit out of the way out of Oxford, you could find a club. But nighttime is just mostly bars for us, and then you kind of just like walk back with someone or you go back home with your friends and stuff like that. But I think a thing about the hookup culture is like I'm a pretty religious person, so I don't really think
Mm.
it kind of goes against like what I believe and what
Yeah.
he believes in.
Very interesting fact for me is that like a lot of people told me that they basically wait until marriage
Yeah.
like here, and that people are very religious in that sense. Surprised me because it's like a very big contrast. Europe, I feel like maybe it's not as known as like a hookup culture, but I feel like if I would ask anyone like, are you waiting till marriage? They will be like, no, I'm not waiting to marriage. So yeah, I
It's
think
real different, yeah,
yeah.
wherever you go.
Are there a lot of people that you personally know that make it out as mergers after graduating from this university?
So yeah, the Miami merger thing that she's talking about. I think I read something online. It was like 14% of people that come to Miami meet their spouse. So
Mm.
it's actually kind of cool. But I have a couple friends whose parents are Miami mergers. So like growing up with them, they talk about it all the time and how cool it is. I think a lot more people are single towards the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
college. And sometimes they come in with a relationship, but they kind of break it off because sometimes people have that mindset of like, oh, I have to have fun and I can't have a boyfriend at the same time,
Mm.
which is mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I also like feel like if I compare it to like Madrid, there are a lot of people who come, they're in a relationship with a person, they really just want to have fun, and it comes also into place that the people are just not being honest and with their partners, or they just do something behind the doors. And in terms of that, I want to ask your opinion. What do you think about cheating, or what do you think if somebody is dishonest with their significant other?
oh, cheating's a no. Boo cheating. If you're gonna be with someone, you gotta give it to them. You know, you gotta give them your all. And if you don't want to be with them, you just gotta be open and honest. Like, tell them like what's going on, why you don't want to be with them. I think being with someone kind of like helps you bring out the best in you and them at the same time.
Mhm.
Uh,
Currently single. Are you taken for all the ladies that are watching my podcast right
no,
now?
I'm single. Yep, growing myself. It's kind of nice.
That's awesome. I also want to dive in and ask you a bit of controversial topics that we also discussed together. So, what do you think when it comes to splitting the bill?
I know we did talk about this. This is good. I putting the bill's fine, but I have to say, if you meet a new girl and you're taking her out, like the first 3 5 times you as the guy you should pay, but as you guys become more comfortable and become friends and whatnot, I think that it should be okay to split the bill. But I know sometimes you said no, but
You be fine when you're like, nah, it's fine. We should split it.
I feel like it's a gentleman thing to do to pay.
Hmm.
And
But do
then
you not think that you also should be a gentleman after?
if you have like that kind of connection with someone and you guys are
Mhm.
like best friends, and if they offer, I mean, I feel like that's a good gesture off of them.
I also think it really depends, probably like in the environment you grew up in. It's hard for me to
Yeah, yeah,
understand
yeah.
it's hard for me to understand your side, and it's not because some people might say, oh my god, like the guy always pays, like she's with the guy because she's like a gold digger. And I just think it's like not really the case, because I feel like if you grow up in an environment where like your dad was basically the one providing, misconceptions that a lot of people have is that they think that just because the guy's paying, basically like a housewife, or you shouldn't be doing anything. And I don't agree with that. Like
Yeah.
I think that you should earn your own money for yourself, to be independent, to walk away from the guy if it's ever necessary. Because back then, a guy provided for
They're back.
the guy provided for the girl. He knew that she couldn't go anywhere with him. You know what I mean? Opinion is that even though the guy should be the one providing, and in my opinion should earn more money than the girl, it doesn't mean that she shouldn't be doing anything, because at the end of the day, you're only interesting to someone when you do have goals and when you do have ambitions. Do you think it's fine that a girl earns more money than the guy?
Of course. Hey, if my lady makes more money than me, I'll scrub the floors hands and knees with a toothbrush.
You not only think that the girl would lose immense respect for you, it's also about like the masculine and the feminine energy. And the girl needs to be the princess, not the guy. He's earning more than you are. I personally think, me as a girl, I would lose like dignity and respect. Masculinity is correlated with money, because money by its nature is like masculine energy.
I think when you said masculinity is like with money, I think masculinity kind of comes from like how you like are as a guy. Like you treat her, and like as long as you treat her well and you make sure like you do the things that you're supposed to do, I think it'll be okay. I mean, I come from a family where my dad and my mom were pretty even, and then my mom got a good opportunity and she makes more, and our family's just perfectly fine. So I think as like time has gone on in history, I know back in the day, like it really used to be housewife, guy does everything, and as time has gone on and equal rights have kind of come back to more center space, I think if a girl makes more money and then she works for it, then good for her. Like, and if a guy made more money, it's good for
Mm.
him. You know.
I'm also a very spiritual person, you know what I mean? And I meditate and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I just know that, for example, like why I say that money is correlated with masculine energy is because at the end of the day, when you see how men work and how women work, you can see that sometimes the guy needs to do more than the girl. a girl can like be creative and she gets like money anyways because it comes easy to her, basically attracting it into her life, versus a guy, he's more the chaser, and also he needs to like do more hard work to even have like a financial income.
Yeah.
So since we covered that, my other question is, what do you think about having sex on the first date? Do you think that's a norm?
If you do go like hook up after the first date, something
Mm-hmm.
might be off. I mean, again, where you're from, who you are. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everything changes. Some people do that. Some people don't. Some cultures do. Some cultures don't. Um, but you said something about like what makes like a high body count.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is
hard question because I feel like people can change, and if someone
okay?
had one, she could be brat, or if someone had 50, she could be like a
Mm-hmm.
really good girl, and she
Mm-hmm.
changed and stuff like that. So I guess it kind of I feel like I shouldn't look at that. I mean, a high number obviously makes someone think a certain way, but just trying to find like
Yeah.
a cute little princess and just take her home, put a ring on it.
You always say that you want to find a cute little princess. So my question to you is, why do you always do you search for your cute little princess and breaks?
No, I promise I fun stuff like that. I promise you I don't look for a cute little princess out there. I'm usually with some of my guys. I'll talk to people, but I usually like to go like out. If I go out like that, I like to hang out with my friends and my guys and like go home with them and stuff like that. But
Where do people actually go here on dates? Like, if you
okay.
would meet your cute little princess, where would you where would you take her? Because personally, like in Europe, you go to restaurants and stuff like that. And I understand that this is a college town, but
Yeah,
if somebody would ask me to go with them to, I don't know, Chick-fil-A or Starbucks, I would be like, hell nah.
yeah.
Starbucks as a coffee date
Did
is
you
a
mess? Did you
no-go.
mention that Starbucks date because of someone recently?
It was such a terrible idea.
I was on a date and I met a girl and I wanted to take her somewhere. I probably would ask if she wanted to go somewhere farther away because like
Mm-hmm.
Oxford's a good place to like have fun, college
Mm-hmm.
town, like you said, but there's not many places around here. Like there's a nice restaurant or like a movie theater or something like that. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
probably 20,
Mm-hmm.
40 minutes away. And I think I would go out of my way and go take her down one of those places. So at least
Mm-hmm.
she like gets to know me a little bit better.
For example, if it comes to other people here, where do they usually go on dates here? Because I've seen some people like have a date at a dining hall, and I'm sorry, but I do not consider that a date. This is a friendly meeting. If a guy would ever take me to the dining hall, I would be like, I'm not even going to enter there because I can go there myself.
uh, it's kind of hard here. It is kind of hard because the town's not as big. But I think like some people do go to Starbucks, like you said. Some people go out of
Hmm.
town and go to like a sushi place, or some people do go to the dining hall. I know someone who did that. I won't mention them, but you know who you are. Um, I think kind of like the small places to
Yeah.
start. So like,
I just feel like when you as a girl, if you actually accept to go to a dining hall, the bar is basically non-existent. Not only that, but if you
they're like a really good guy, and like you're really into them. Would you
uh,
consider it at all, or
I
just
wouldn't
no?
consider that all. That was actually a mistake on my part because I would never go with someone on a Starbucks date to begin with. But I don't know, like I was like, maybe that's the norm here. Here, I'm like in a college town, but if I now looking back at it, I just think to myself, what the fuck was I doing? What makes a girl a 10 out of 10 for you? Look at a girl, you'll be like, damn, that's her. Both looks and of course the character.
My mom's blonde, so like I think as a guy, like as you grow up, the first lady you see is obviously your mom, and sometimes you take after things like that. But I'm like a blonde guy. I kind of have some blonde hair, but hey, blonde girls are very cute, but a brunette is also very cute. I think looks
Yeah,
matter too much to me. I mean, as long as you
yeah.
got like a good personality, and like I can get
Mm.
along with you, and like
It's funny because I just feel like sometimes, like, of course, all guys or even girls, they have a certain type, and they might say what they want, but I feel like a lot of guys, they don't really mean it in terms
yeah,
of like, you might say, oh my God, I want the blonde. And then I enter your room and you have the poster with two brunettes. So when you need to look at like red flags in
okay.
a girl, what are things that you would consider red flags?
Guys watching, I think you know where I'm going with this one. Guy best friends, those do not work. As soon as you and your girlfriend have a problem, who is she going to run to? Her boy best friend. It happens, man. It's the truth. I was a guy best friend once. I know how it works. And as soon as they split, the first one there.
So
If you're dating and you're married, you can be best friends.
yeah, obviously, because I just feel like relationship with someone, you don't compete with the person. They should complement you. So I do think that your significant other should also be your best friend. But if your girl has a guy best friend, that's a no-no.
Kick rocks. Kick rocks.
Girl has a high body count in your eyes. Could you ever overlook that? Because in today's society, like let's be honest, if a guy has a high body count, he will just be considered a fuckboy. Versus a girl is going to be considered a hoe.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. And I think the reason why that is so, especially like having like Russian parents, and I think that a girl shouldn't have a high body count is because when you are sleeping with a guy, you're basically giving him your energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's basically benefiting from it. Guy sleeps with multiple women, he doesn't lose anything. He's just getting the best energy from everywhere. But if you as a girl sleep with a lot of guys, you're just basically giving your energy to everyone, and then you have no energy left for yourself.
Yeah.
A nice guy, and you even said that the girls, they don't want a nice guy. You know what I mean? But I think there's a difference between a nice guy and a desperate guy, in the sense that he really wants something. I just feel like maybe you're looking too much in the wrong places. Wouldn't you say it's like more about like your personal development, and then like a girl that you like will just like also come like naturally into your life?
It's hard because rejection's hard. So a lot of people kind of fade away from looking and trying because they're scared of getting rejection. And like the desperate thing, some people are like real desperate, and they'll take that's the people that kind of take. Oh gosh.
Some people are really desperate for attention. Maybe you know who you are.
Desperate people are the ones that will always try to get whatever's in front of them, stuff like that. And then like the nice guys are the ones that kind of wait back, and they'll wait for the right person, and they'll find the other half and stuff like that.
Easy for you to make the first move or not?
No, I think all guys can say that it's not easy. Some guys have it easier
because
than others.
of fear of rejection, or honestly don't understand when girls make the first move. Because when you make the first move as a girl, it will never work in your favor. At the end of the day, you might want a cute little princess, but as somebody that challenges you,
Yeah.
And if there's a girl that is like, "Hi Logan, it's me, Casey," like you'll be like, oh, you wouldn't want her, you know what I mean? Category of guys that have a fear of being rejected, they're basically microwave men. And I will explain you what I mean by that. They just did quick and easy and with no effort. So when you as a guy do not need to make the first move on a girl, she's basically doing all the work for you. And then in your relationship, you will not be the boyfriend, because she will be both the boyfriend and the girlfriend. Because I get it, like guys, they have the fear of being rejected, but at the end of the day, you also need to see how you view rejection. Rejection is not that bad if you think about it. Just because it didn't work out with another person, it just means that they weren't the right fit. There's someone better there. You understand when guys they are not bold enough to make the first move, because you might actually miss out on maybe like a great opportunity. Wouldn't you say that when you didn't make the first move, did you not feel like you missed out on a great opportunity?
This last weekend, me and my buddy John, we were walking back somewhere, and these two girls passed us, and we both looked at each other, and we were like, "Whoa!" And we looked at each other like, "We gotta go say something." Then we ended up not saying anything, and we were like, "Dang it! Like we should have gone up to them and said something, because maybe you never know."
Yeah. So don't be microwave men. Like advice for the guys.
Hey, let's make the first move. Let's do it. Let's grow a pair. Let's go out there and start doing some stuff. Fuck it. Why not?
It was my first episode with my friend, and I really enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
If anyone wants to go to a Browns game and then just watch a movie after, let me know.